All right. First and foremost, I'm going to say all praises be to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakah Kolash. Then I'm going to say double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the sincere elect, teaching this truth and faith and sincerity. All right. And I just wanted to do a quick response onto this article. It says, Ireland deploys army to clear fuel protest. And of course, man, as you can see, with the Israel, with the conflict that's taking place with Israel, Babylon, and then Persians, man, over there, like in Iran, we're seeing many kind of side effects that's taking place, like in terms of Earth, that's happening all throughout Earth, and all of this, it's just about to lead to more uproars of the people in the various towns, cities, and countries, and obviously eventually lead to more food shortages and widespread starvation and famine that is eventually going to take place. But more and more uproars of the people, right? More and more protests, more and more of people, taking things into their own hands because things are getting bad and worse is about to take place, man. And we're seeing these things take shape. And all these are just the beginning of sorrows, man. Because we know, according to the scriptures, things are gonna get so bad that there are gonna be many people on the earth that shall perish of famine. You know, which even that's another kind of a lesson going on to the impact of the fertilizers and harvest and everything that's about to take place, like in this global impact in terms of shortages, starvation, and famine. All right, but all of these are just signs of the times, right? And these are the beginning of sorrows, as the scripture speaks about, where it's about to get absolutely worse. Scripture says, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. And now people are saying peace and safety in comparison to what's about to take place, much more faster and sooner than they think. Because even if we observe lockdown, and us so-called coming out of lockdown, things got worse. But people after a while post lockdown got comfortable, thinking everything was on the way up and everything was better. But now we're seeing more and more of these prophecies and signs taking place, and it's only going to get worse, which is beautiful. It says demonstrators say that they will choke the Irish economy onto the government slashes fuel taxes. So on certain, roads and motorways, like in the UK, it's been blocked off by tractors and farmers and stuff. All right, so let's just read a little bit of it and get into some scriptures. The Irish government has announced that it will use a military to clear trucks and tractors blocking critical infrastructure. Protests launched over the soaring fuel prices have brought Dublin to a standstill in recent days. It says in a statement on Thursday, Irish Justice Minister Jim O'Callaghan said that the blocking of critical national infrastructure will not be permitted to continue, and the assistance of defense forces has been requested. Protesters who fail to disperse will have their vehicles moved by force and should not complain later about any damage caused to those vehicles. And what I'm interested to see is what they mean by force and how intense will that force be, because will certain people in tractors and farmers and stuff, will they then be taken out of their cars and lorries by force, and even thinking about that, if they're taken out of their tractors and lorries by force, that could inspire more people to get involved, and even to just from an image standpoint, how would that look to more people over there, like in that country, seeing their hard working men as farmers and stuff, being pushed around and moved around by force. That might even inspire more protests to take place. And obviously, if let's say any violence, kind of happens, they could actually risk even more protests and even more people getting involved. It's very interesting to just see how far this could go. It says protesters in tractors and other large vehicles have blockaded Dublin city centre since Tuesday and formed slow-moving convoy on key motorways throughout the country. The demonstrators have also blocked ports in Galway and Limerick, and the country's only refinery at Whitegate near Cork, which processes imported oil to meet the 40% of Ireland's fuel demand. And again, it's like, remember these, stores and stuff, and these factories, they need a constant supply on a daily base, of goods. You know what I mean? Like it's all based on a daily transport of goods. So if this upkeeps and keeps happening for like another week or so, or week or two, you never know, man. It could actually, like, especially in certain towns over there, right? It it might even impact shelves, gas prices, and also, Ireland is a big hub that exports a lot of goods and things to other parts of the UK, especially in London. So I'm sure this is going to have more of a wider effect on certain businesses that are waiting on raw goods and materials. But before I keep reading in this kind of article, let's get more scriptures. This is let's actually get scriptures. This is Habakkuk 2:1, and it says, "I'll stand upon my watch and set me on the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry, yeah. So that vision is yet for an appointed time. At the end, it shall speak and not lie. You know, and that's what's happening. We've spoken for a long while about more uproars of the people and how things would just kind of like increase and intensify upon the earth. We've spoken for a long time about Israel, like in Iran, and how the least of the flock shall draw them out, and we're seeing these other nations being, especially Babylon and Russia and stuff, China, all these people being drawn into that region for conflict. We've spoken a long time about, people eventually going to be dying of starvation and famine, and we're seeing the seeds of famine have already been planted. So it's all taking shape and it's speaking, and of course we know that this global economic system, man, is about to come to an absolute reset and crash, in which the mark of the beast, which is the RFID implantable chip, will be established. So it's all taking shape and it's speaking, right? For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry. This is Ezekiel 12 and 26. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesied for the time to afar off. Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken, it shall be done, saith the Lord. Yeah. So, that mindset of people, thinking, everything we say is going to happen in a couple of years to come, and it's going to be, in the future, very far in the future, is right here. It's happening, right? This is Matthew 25 and 24 and 6, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And are we not seeing, hearing the wars and rumors of wars, getting daily updates of what's happening in these global conflicts, and seeing the effects of these global conflicts, as in, again, this war and rumor of war with Israel, Iran, Babylon and such. Even that's affecting, that's literally affecting the global economy, with the impact of, the Strait of Hormuz and stuff. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For a nation shall rise against nation, and we're seeing that, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, and that's all been happening. But we've seen the seeds of famine have been planted, and obviously there's other parts of the earth that they're already dealing with the famine. Like, one thing that's come out in this is that, certain nations, right, that may not be a heated ground battle of this conflict, like, Africa and stuff. We're seeing, though, that there's an expectance of them kind of nations that people ain't thinking about to be heavily affected by the incoming famine and stuff that's about to happen in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So that's what the scripture says, man. All these are the beginning of sorrows, man. So it's about to get worse. And here, you can see some of the tractors that's blocking certain key roads and motorways. And what people don't get is that, hey man, like, you know, people think it's just it's just farmers, bro. Like they're very core and key workers, man, and they can bring the whole country to a standstill. You know, we saw a similar thing happen a couple of years ago in France and even up in Holland as well. So it's all interesting. Let me play this clip. Let me play some clips. So they've just parked a lot of their lorries and key
140 there now.
Key motorways.
I think things are ramping up instead of calming down.
See?
Fair play to them all.
These are all uproars of the people, man.
If anyone that has a problem with that, you're the problem with this country.
And even like the company I work for, I know for a fact this directly gonna impact like the way we run, and where all the way in London, you know, this is directly gonna impact. It says the Irish government has refused to negotiate with the protesters. It is an act of national sabotage to blockade this refinery, right? And it will directly impact the people, of Ireland. Prime Minister Michael Martin said on Wednesday, referring to the Whitegate demonstration, a gun can't be put to the head of the government. And guess what? Many more metaphorical, guns will be put to the government in terms of, more protests, more people, getting tired of what this life has turned into with the kind of economy. But what that is going to lead to is more uproars, more protests, more conflicts, and especially what I mean. I mean, this is kind of interesting over there, like in Ireland as well, because you remember over there, there's a big social kind of topic on the migrant situation, because people instead of blaming the elites and leaders are just blaming these migrants, which is going to lead to more migrant attacks and just more tension. Martin was filmed on Thursday walking away from angry demonstrators in Cork who accused him of walking away from the Irish people. You walk away from Irish people, start up the piece with that. So, I mean, it's interesting, and we will see. This is our second Ezra's 9. All right. He says, second Ezra's 9:1. He answered me then and said, "Measures thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that this is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." Yeah, man. So then shut up. Well, I understand that the Most High spoke of these things when there's uproars of the people in the world, man. You know, uproars. More protests. You know, people feeling like their life that they one side is never coming back. You know, and then as we know in Second Ezra 15, that people are gonna be invading one another because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Scripture speaks about them not regarding their kings nor princes, because of what they're dealing with. Scripture speaks about because of their pride, because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, man. So it's only gonna get worse, more, just more judgment, man. All right, so I'm gonna end with Ecclesiastes 9, I believe it's 12, when it says, "For man knoweth not of time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, as the birds that are caught in a snare. So are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them." And this scripture is going to come out a lot because, we starting off with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down. We've seen, information, of course, with the whole, again, the Israel, Iran, Babylon conflict and the effect on, the transportation and fertilizer and fuel and costs and such. And we know more global starvation and famine is coming, right? But a lot of people don't actually know that. A lot of people are focused on, the flights I catch are gonna get more expensive, and the flights I catch are about to get cut. Look, bruv, your flights are the least of your worries. That is the least of your worries. People are worried about, man, I can't go on holiday and do, bro. That is the least of your worries. Cause what's coming, man, from what we've seen, is starvation and famine and death. And the scripture says all these things are scourges for amendment, but basically they ain't gonna realize why this is happening. That is judgment because of the wickedness that's happening on earth. All right, so with that, I'm gonna say all praises be unto Yahweh Shemar Shabbat Shemar Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Until next time, we're gonna say Shalom.